I'm making this video because there's been a lot of weather modification going on in Hawaii. We're out here actually in Waikiki. It is August 27th, and lately there's been a lot of crazy weather, a lot more hurricane and tropical storm activity, a lot more than usual. As you can see, there's been a lot more rain than usual too, but it's basically one after the other. And we can always check the satellite and also look up in the sky to see if there's any kind of clouds, heating, geoengineering, also known as chemtrail programs going on. And I can tell you, yes, there's been a lot lately, especially these August, especially like these last days of August. So far we haven't been hit by a hurricane, but now this latest one, and it is August 27th right now, 2015. So this is Ignacio is right here, and it's aimed directly at Hawaii. And I can tell you that basically that they're right now we're on a NASA worldview, which is a satellite images, okay, that are updated every 24 hours. So this is August 27th, 2015 image, okay? And what you see here behind this black bar is basically the eye of the storm, okay? So basically Hurricane Ignacio, I started tracking it on this satellite because this satellite doesn't lie. As early as Ignacio wasn't even named yet, when it started out as a tropical depression, and we can trace it. We're gonna zoom out a little bit. So we have Hawaii right here. Here's Big Island. You can barely see it. Big Island is almost 100 miles across, just to let you know that this little piece is about 100 miles. So you can tell that this storm right here, Ignacio hurricane, it's really picking up. And you can see this trail right here. You can see they were spraying right here. And basically it's going to give the storm more energy that it's going to suck in, and it's basically giving it the trajectory to move towards right into Hawaii. And lately, we've had storms, but they did some damage, like Hurricane SL, which was also weather controlled. Anyway, it did damage on the Big Island, but this one, it just looks like it looks pretty massive. So again, scale. Let's see. So let's look at the scale. So my thumb is about 700. Wait, my thumb is about 300. Let's say 400 miles. Okay, so this is 500 miles. So my thumb is about 400 miles. Yeah. So we look at the hurricane that's coming, starting with the edge, okay, starting with the edge of it, just about here. So if this is 400, this is about 800 miles wide, so this is huge, okay. You can't really see the eye of the storm. As you can see, it's blocked out. Anyways, I'm pretty sure it looks pretty massive and scary. That's why they don't want you to see it. Anyways, let's go back in time and trace it back what's going on here. I mentioned weather modification. So as a matter of fact, if we zoom in even on this latest, we can see chemtrails being sprayed. Whoop, right there. Okay. Oh, a little too much. Zoom out. Yeah, so they're basically manipulating, possibly with metallic particles, since metallic particles have, they can carry electrical charge, they can react to magnetic charges, and, like electrical and magnetic charges, those ones can be manipulated with different frequencies, and we all know about HAARP. Well, not all of us, but, hopefully, it's spelled HAARP, and they have different stations. Especially the one on Guadalupe Island that not many people really talk about because they don't know about it, but that one's really obvious. Anyway, so let's go back in time. August 26, 2015. I'm going to trace it. Okay, so you can see it's a little bit smaller, but it's still, you can see the eye already forming here. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit. Okay, so you can see it on the scale of things, we have Baja California right here, Guadalupe Island, where a lot of the weather modification is happening. All you gotta do is just zoom in. Anyway, so this is Santiago, okay, and Hawaii is just right about here where my finger is, okay. So it's moving slowly, but slowly and steadily it's gaining traction. So we saw the chemtrail that was supplied there. We see chem bombs over here. We see another anomaly over here, basically another storm forming. As you can see, it almost looks like yin yang. I mean, it's pretty crazy, but this is all being created. This is really unusual that there's, and see how it's connected to, there's a second one kind of forming over here, storm system, and this is where they start forming, okay? And they start forming basically right underneath Guadalupe Island. Okay, so let's go back in time. So we're in August 26, going 25. Yep, you can see it's smaller. It's a lot smaller going back in time. So like I said, here you can see it, but it's not centered. It doesn't really have a center much. So here is just even more. This is basically where it started. Okay, but as you can see, there was other storms that were recently coming through the Hawaii area. Just right there, it passed us south of us. Okay, actually kind of hit the tip of southern tip of the Big Island, and you can see them. It's just constant. And we are going back in time. Each flash is we're going back in time. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, like all of this right here. Okay, so we're gonna go forward in time. So it's August 18. Each flash is going straight in time into the present, towards the present. Okay, so August 19. Each click is a day. So you can see all these storms. Okay, and there's the big one right here. You can see it. So that's the latest. Definitely weather modification. I did mention Guadalupe Island, so we can take a quick look at that. You can check out the other videos for it. It is super controversial. It is off of the Baja coast. It is not really inhabited by anyone. It is known for its white sharks, but what it's not known for is weather modification, which I think is really inappropriate that the powers that be are doing this, because there is no public consent. And that's kind of disrespectful and inconsiderate and not really smart, because they're messing with Mother Nature, and Mother Nature will take its course, and if it feels threatened by a certain organism, it will prevail. Okay, it will prevail. I'm not sure what happened here. Let's see. Let's refresh the page. Yeah, so this is another satellite image of the storm. So as you can see, it's moving slowly, okay, which is good, but you can clearly see the eye, and it's kind of raging, and it's huge, and it's aimed directly at Hawaii. So we'll be watching this one closely. As you can see, there's another one forming right after it, and yeah, basically Guadalupe Island. Holy moly, it's right here. You can see it on the map even. It's not labeled, but my mouse is pointing towards it. This right here. So it's obviously forming right underneath Guadalupe Island. Okay, let's go back to the world view, and here it is. Zoom in. Guadalupe Island. How crazy is this? This image is NASA World View 2015, August 27th. Okay, this is going on the public record. Guadalupe Island, off the coast of Mexico. Okay, you see a hole here in the cloud formation, a clear hole that is not only just any kind of hole, it's symmetrical. Okay, it's symmetrical with some sort of center coming out of it, and some kind of weird cloud here. So it's definitely active. Let's go back in time and see what they're doing with it. So August 26th. Okay, so you can totally see them shooting this ray. I call it the death ray. Okay, just zoomed out a little bit. Let's Let's bring it back in. You can see it here, what it looks like on a large scale. So you can see Guadalupe Island. Again, no cloud is covering it, but there are clouds around, and you can see it shooting this death ray. This ain't no Photoshop, trust me. This will take forever to do in Photoshop for every day that they turn this thing on, because this is crazy, okay? This is nuts. These people is just like experimenting with weather. Let's zoom in on it. This is, I mean, look at this, okay? They're creating these storms. It's kind of obvious. Look, it's coming right straight from the tip of Guadalupe Island, okay? Going back in time, August 25, Guadalupe Island. Okay, explain this, okay? This is not natural. If you say this is natural, you're an idiot. I'm sorry. If you're saying that every day there's something coming out of the tip of Guadalupe Island that looks like freaking storms is natural, then you're a freaking idiot. I'm sorry to say that, and I really wish you good luck. This is next, back in time, August 24th. You can see activity, storms, Guadalupe Island not covered by clouds. Clouds everywhere for thousands of miles around it. It's not covered, okay? You see the tail coming out of it, okay? Back in time, 23rd August. You can see it. It's mostly covered now, but you can still see the little storms that it's kind of forming, okay? It's not so active. But in this one, and in this one, okay, how do you explain this? Okay, if you're saying this is natural, you're a freaking idiot. This looks like a freaking seashell, but it ain't natural. This is like HAARP. This is Baja California right here. This is crazy, right? Because they have one installation, a few installations around here too, and actually all over the world. They can put them in the ocean. But if you're saying that this is natural, or you think that this is some kind of volcano, no, it ain't no volcano, it ain't no airplane. This is some massive technology they're using, okay? My thumb scale, okay, 50 miles. My thumb is just about a little bit short of 50 miles, okay? Just a little short, okay? Guadalupe Island, my thumb, okay? So it's like 25 miles or something, okay? Look at the scale of this thing. So we go from the tip of it, yeah? Because that's where they start them. So we go like, okay, 50, 100, 150. You see where I'm getting at? This is like hundreds of miles basically. Okay, going back in time. August 21st. Okay, how do you explain this? What do you see? You think this is natural? No, it ain't. This is 100% proof of weather modification caught on satellite. On their own satellite. Come on now. Going back in time. 20th August. Okay? If you think this is okay, then you're part of the problem. Because this is not okay. This is not okay. This is messing with Mother Nature to the most, okay? This is, I call this fornication, okay? When they're creating storms basically off of Guadalupe Island, I call this fornication, okay? And fornicating with Gaia, which is a living organism, by the way. Hello, our Earth has a consciousness, and I'm not making this up. This is real. And if you don't realize that our planet has a consciousness and it's actually a living being that we're part of, then you gotta wake up and you gotta remove fluoride from your toothpaste or your water, and mercury from your vaccines or whatever else is dumbing you down, the education or the news. You know, you gotta remove that and get conscious today. We're going back in time. August 18, Guadalupe Island. Not much. I mean, besides all this chemtrails, right? And look at this freaking hole. What is this hole? This is like weird, okay? Guadalupe Island is over here though, but I don't see it making anything else, but I just see a lot of chemtrails, massive amount of chemtrails. Okay, just going back in time, August 17, yeah. They're not using the death ray over here. We kind of see remnants of it, or whatever you want to call it. Not much, not much. Okay, here we go again. Different direction. As you can see, before they used it a little bit at a different angle. Now they're aiming it lower. Okay, they're aiming it more north. So basically, what that means, we're going back in time, is that they can aim it whichever way they like to. Okay, and that's crazy. Okay, and guess who's paying for it? Your tax dollars, your donations to all these organizations that are behind this. Like, come on, like, you think this is natural? You think this is natural? You think there's a volcano here that's making this? No. Ain't no volcano that's making this. Volcanoes don't form stuff like this almost every day, okay? Like, volcanoes don't do this kind of stuff, okay? Like, look how long this is too, and look how you're basically, what you're seeing here is close, what is close to the pi ratio. Let's go back in time, August 5. Okay, you can see remnants of it. You can see it clearly. Like, look at that. Okay, look at that. They're creating these storms with different frequencies. This is like a classic shot right here. I mean, it's kind of beautiful, but at the same time, it's ugly. Because I don't want them doing this, like messing with nature and frying our planet with all these rays. Each flash is going back in time, one day. Guadalupe Island. We're in July 28th. So they're frying this thing. Okay, this is a good image because you can see, you can clearly see like it's some sort of a pi ratio, yeah, like a pi ratio. I'm not a mathematician. I do respect the sciences, and as long as they have a moral standard, you know, if science is missing a moral standard, then it's basically wrong science, and it's black magic basically. If it doesn't have a moral, ethical standard, and if it's just like this and that, let's try experiment, let's fry the planet and see what happens, and not ask other people who live on this planet if it's okay and what they think, you know, talk about collective consciousness, then, you know, yeah, it's just science is wrong if it does not have a moral standard. You know, I appreciate science, you know, I respect it, but as soon as it loses a moral compass, then I will discredit it, because there's a limit to everything that, you know, that we do. Everything should be balanced, and it has to be moral. We cannot be like the weatherman changing the weather, like saying, okay, like, we're gonna create a storm because we want to see what happens, and we're gonna try to break it down before it hits the city, or we're gonna try and actually, you know, increase it and hit the city. You know, control is the key word, and, you know, absolute power corrupts absolutely, right? So people who are doing this on July 27, 2015, I feel like they're corrupted, and they don't have a moral compass, a moral standard. They're just kind of doing whatever, you know. Like, come on. How come they don't talk about this, you know? How come they don't have a public discussion? It's because people are not going to like this stuff, you know? And who's paying for it? The people. How? Through taxes and through all these commodities that they're buying, and, you know. So, thanks for watching, and check us out at organichawaii.org. Mahalo.